Well, it looks like after a long wait, we might finally be seeing a refresh to these guys, the AirPods. Hey, what's going on everyone? Greg here, and we've all been hearing rumors about the AirPods 2 coming out for quite a while now. Ever since Apple showed off that wireless charging case at their event, there have been multiple rumors and speculations on just exactly when AirPods 2 will come out and what kind of features will be included. And all signs really pointed to AirPods 2 coming out this year, and I honestly believe that AirPods 2 would be coming out in November, but it looks like I was wrong, and I don't think Apple's going to release it in December. What's even stranger to me now is that we have solid evidence that Apple is planning multiple AirPod refreshes. Aside from just AirPods 2, there looks to be solid rumors leading to an AirPods 3 as well. And maybe even AirPods after AirPods 3. There are lots and lots of rumors swirling around, so let's go ahead and just cover some of the more basic rumors I've been hearing. And let's start off with the first and easy one, which would be AirPods 2. Now, this AirPods 2 rumor doesn't look to be anything substantial in terms of an update to the current AirPod design. And we're pretty much looking at the same exact design as the current AirPods we have now. The major improvements to the second version of the AirPods is, of course, the wireless charging case that Apple promised at its event that was supposed to coincide with the release of the AirPower charging mat. Currently, we have no idea what has happened to AirPower. There is so much rumor and so much speculation about what happened to the charging mat. Apple promised that it would be released sometime in 2018, and many people thought that it would be released before the XS, XS Max, and XR. Unfortunately, that has not transpired, and Apple has just less than a month now to release the AirPower charging mat, or release a statement indicating its delay, or, as some people have speculated, maybe the AirPower mat is a dead project and Apple will no longer be working on it. This is due to the fact that reportedly, and these are all reports, there's nothing confirmed about what happened to the AirPower charging mat, but apparently the AirPower mat was getting too hot charging multiple devices, and it was a fire safety concern, which might make some sense. If you've ever used a wireless charging mat, you know they can get quite hot, and a lot of fast chargers, especially some from Anker that are in an upright position, have a little fan inside of them, and the AirPower charging mat lied flat on the table, could charge up to 2 iPhones at once or up to 3 devices at once with a iPhone, a Apple Watch, and of course the wireless AirPods charging case. So to have that mat charging 3 devices at once, I could definitely see some engineering challenges behind it, so who knows exactly if and when AirPower will be released. But according to analyst Ming-Chi Kuo, AirPods 2 with the wireless charging case and the optional wireless charging case that AirPods 1 owners can buy will be released sometime in early 2019. Or maybe we will see that the AirPods charging case only works on Qi certified chargers. Either way, it doesn't look like the AirPods themselves will be getting much improvements. Maybe the addition of Bluetooth 5.0, maybe the addition of the W2 chip, which I believe is now in the current generation of Apple Watches. But other than that, no battery life improvements, no functionality improvements. And that leads us to our next rumor, the AirPods 3, I guess we can call them. This is another rumor coming out of the same exact source, Ming-Chi Kuo, and he is referring to these AirPods as the 2020 model, so not the one that will be launching in early 2019, but a separate model that will be launching the year after that. And this 2020 model seems to be where the majority of feature improvements will be coming along to AirPods. First of all, he talks about a all-new design, something he refers to as a rigid flexboard component, and a hinge redesign on the AirPods case. And apparently both of these design changes to the AirPods is going to make it up to 60% more in manufacturing costs. Combine that with the previous reports we've been hearing about all the additional features that these AirPods might contain, and those of course would be rumors we've been hearing all along, like the AirPods are supposedly getting the functionality to do some sort of noise canceling. Not sure how noise cancellation technology would currently work in a AirPods-like design. That technology is usually reserved for over-the-ear headphones that can kind of block the sound anyway, because you have something physically blocking your sound and then kind of this weird whirling noise. You know noise cancellation if you ever heard it. Not currently seeing how that technology could make its way to the AirPods design, but maybe there's something Apple could do to incorporate noise cancellation technology technology. Of course, another feature rumored on the 2020 redesign is the inclusion of the W2 wireless chip, and the W2 wireless chip would obviously improve wireless connection, so maybe further range, and also increase the way that Bluetooth works with the Bluetooth 5.0 standard. And with Bluetooth 5.0, some people are speculating that maybe there will be a feature to share sound between multiple AirPods users. But overall, the W2 chip should just be a better, improved technology on connecting the AirPods, making sure they're connected, maybe improving some of these sensor capabilities of taking the AirPods out of your ears, and maybe some battery improvements as well with a more efficient wireless chip inside of it. Another rumor with these 2020 AirPods is that they will be getting some water resistance. Now, I don't think this water resistance will boil anything down to like swimming in a pool. I also think that if you went swimming with your AirPods, that's probably the case when they'd fall out of your ears. But this water resistance would more have to do with maybe running in the rain, or more importantly, sweat coming out of your ears as you're working out with your AirPods. Now, I've used AirPods to work out ever since they've come out, and they have never fallen out of my ears during a workout, and they've never had any trouble with sweat damaging them, or even instances of light rain damaging the AirPods. I have run in the rain with AirPods and no damage yet, so I'm not sure exactly how this increased water resistance would help the AirPods. I haven't really had any issues with water damaging any part of the AirPods yet. And I've even heard of AirPods going through a full wash cycle, case included, and coming out working just fine. So I think the water resistance on these guys are pretty good already. But again, any sort of water resistance they could add should put a lot of people at ease. Now, the last feature for the rumored 2020 AirPods is the inclusion of the Hey S-word functionality. I don't want to say it because, you know, I have a HomePod right here. She might hear me. But we've seen that advertisement of Apple with the person running through Apple Park, and she uses the Hey S-word command on her AirPods. That is currently a rumored feature to be in the design work, so you no longer have to double tap to summon Siri on the AirPods. This should also free up the gesture control slot, so currently you can map certain gestures to the left and right AirPods, such as play, pause, or skipping tracks. So by adding Hey S-word support to the 2020 AirPods, you should be getting a little more control over the gestures and capabilities on the AirPods. Now, if you thought all of that was exciting, you haven't heard nothing yet, because there's even more rumored designs and patents that have leaked with AirPods. And this new patent is really, really interesting. So this new patent I'm referring to is a patent for a universal AirPod. So this AirPod patent includes things for a biometric sensor, and that could detect placement and adjust audio in the ear, and also do symmetric placement so you could put it in your left or right ear. So what this is basically saying is that you would only have one AirPod design. So you'd have the same exact design for the right and left ear. That way, no matter what AirPod you took out of the case, it would fit into any ear you put it in. So maybe you could like put it in this way, and then you turn it this way, and then the biometric sensors it's referring to in the patent would adjust audio. Maybe it would have speaker grills on multiple sides of the AirPods. Kind of similar to how Apple adjusts the technology on the current iPads that have the 4 speakers. If you kind of rotate it, Apple adjusts the audio as you rotate it. So maybe that's the kind of technology they'd be using for this universal AirPod, but that's really interesting that they would be going with one design. If you ever need to replace an AirPod, you wouldn't necessarily have to buy a right or left version of the AirPod, and it might help Apple save in manufacturing costs because they would only have to make one version of the AirPod. And the patents don't stop there. Apparently these new AirPods that are in this patent are gonna have an updated design as well. So this new design would include foam to mold to the inside of your ear canal. And this would be ditching the current design of AirPods that are made out of plastic and have this one solid way to fit in your ear. A common complaint for people who can't use AirPods is that it currently doesn't fit in the way their ear is shaped. So by moving to a foam design, Apple is looking for a way to make an AirPod that fits perfectly into everyone's ear. And these rumors specifically mention a golden AirPod, an AirPod that fits into any ear shape, and an AirPod that is one AirPod and can fit in both ears. Now, what's not clear to me is, are these patents for the 2020 AirPods we've been hearing about, or is this a completely new design that will be coming in a later generation of AirPods? And aside from these audio sensors, could we also see some other biometric sensors make their way into AirPods? Specifically, the patent does mention biometric sensors, but only for audio. But maybe we'll see some biometric sensors to do with health and fitness, maybe something to detect body temperature, maybe something for hearing aid functionality. I don't know, maybe just some other thing to put inside those sensors. But again, an interesting design choice, moving away from plastic to a foam that molds into any ear. So just a very, very interesting design choice coming from the plastic AirPods to these new foam rumored AirPods. But it's very interesting. I wonder if Apple is going to switch to a normal AirPod strategy with the 2019 AirPods, and then when the 2020 AirPods come out, if that 60% manufacturing increase cost is going to result in a AirPods Pro, which would make sense. You could have a cheaper line of just regular AirPods for people, and then you could have the AirPods Pro, which will probably cost a little more money, have some additional features, but then maybe you could reduce these down to a lower cost as well. And that doesn't even include Apple's plans for apparently Pro headphones, but maybe we'll cover that in a later video. All right, everyone, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think of all these AirPods rumors in the comments below. If you like the video, make sure to give me a like. If you want to see more from my channel, make sure you're subscribed. And as always, guys, I will see you all in the next video. Take care, everyone. Turning it upside down in one ear or turning it in the other way. I'm struggling to think how this would work